Sorry, Christine called, cut the video off. So Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant, he's been vastly overrated, I think, for years. He hits second, which is not terrible, but it's the National League, and the bottom of the lineup is not that great. I just don't think he doesn't steal, and I don't think he's going to be a good source for RBIs because he's not someone who's hitting 35 home runs anymore. Like, he's shown he wants to sacrifice fucking power for contact, and I don't think that helps him. He's a third baseman that, like, has struggled to hit 30 home runs or stay, I don't want to say stay healthy, but, like, why is Travis Shaw going fucking 150? Why? He's had a better year 2 straight years. Chris Bryant has had one really good year in 4 years, and he's going in the second round, 24th overall. Are you kidding me? It's not like third base isn't loaded. Third base is stacked. He's not a shortstop. He's not a second baseman. He's not a catcher. Outfield, first, third. Stacked. Stacked positions. Like, you can find his power. It pisses me off so much. You can find his power. You can find his RBIs. You can find his steals. You can find his batting average with any third baseman later. It's not, what upside does he possess? 40 home runs? If he hits 40 home runs, dude's gonna bat like 260 again. Which is sure, fine. But like, he's going in the second round because everyone's like, oh, he's gonna hit 280 with 30 homers, 100 and 100. Okay, so then he's a second rounder? That's a second round pick? Sure. Like, and what can he do? He can go also hit 265. With 25 home runs, 27 home runs, 70 RBIs like he did the year before. I just think he's a bum for fantasy. I think I love to own him in the 4th, 5th round. This dude's going in the second fucking round. Why? Charlie Blackmon, perfectly fine. Like him. I like Blackmon. It's just hard for me to draft an outfielder where it's easy to get RBIs or stolen bases, and he doesn't get home run. He doesn't get RBIs. So I like him a lot. I could see him hitting 270, but I could also see him going back to 315. He's just a weird guy. He's going to get you 28 to 29 home runs, 120 runs, 70 to 80 RBIs, and 12 steals. But there is a little downside because he's getting older. Juan Soto, bold prediction. Juan Soto will not finish inside the top 100 players. He struggled to hit breaking balls. He struggled to hit pitchers lower in the zone. And off the plate. So, pitchers will adapt to this. They will know this. He will not do that well for fantasy. He probably will still have like a 370 on base for baseball. This dude's going to hit like 270 and struggle to hit 20 home runs. While he could still go 80-80 counting stat purposes because that team is a good team with guys ahead of him, he's going to have like 5 steals, 20 homers, 80-80, 270. He will not be a top 100 player. Mark my fucking word. Bold prediction number 2. Yeah. Starling Marte, that team is bad. The park is bad. He's weird with his power. He's going to steal you 35 bases and hit 275. I think he's fine where he's going. I think he plugs in it and he can fit a team well because he still gets 80 runs and still gets 70, 75 RBIs. I mean, it's not the greatest because, the only difference is he's getting 35, 40 fucking steals. And that can win you weeks every week. Having a guy stealing 40 bases really helps you. And he's going in like the 3rd round. So it's not like you're paying a 1st, 2nd round price tag on him. So while I probably won't own him, I think he's a good pick for where he's going. And plus, I didn't like him last year because the guy was coming off steroid allegations. And you don't really know, Benintendi, I think Benintendi's going to go in the 4th round. I think he's going to fall from his ADP. Unless, like, my cousin takes him. Or maybe I can see Zook or George take him. Probably not Zook. Maybe George. Sorry, George. I just feel like he's one of your guys that you like. So, Benintendi, I think, is going to have, like, 18 home runs, 20 steals, 110 runs, and, like, 75, 80 RBIs, batting 290. I think he doesn't possess that home run upside as Blackmon does, and he also doesn't hit lefties very well. So, I think he's fine where he's going. If he goes in the 3rd round, And he does have some upside because he's young and he could hit a little more power and he can steal a little more bases. So I think he's a fine player. Yeah, he's a fine player. Anthony Rizzo, just not taking a first base in there. Unless it's the 4th round, I'll take Anthony Rizzo. I just feel like Anthony Rizzo is going to get reached for. I think Anthony Rizzo is going to be like an early 3rd. Which, again, I'm not... Based off of how the draft's going... So with Rizzo, he's going like 15 picks later than Freeman. And he's going like 10 picks later than Goldschmidt. Based off of what I think is going to go on. I like him more so where he's going than the other first baseman. Because he's so safe for 30 and 100. For the most part. So... I'm kind of just more indifferent on him. Whit Merrifield, I'm not taking there too early. Carlos Correa, stay in the field, dude. Just stay in the fucking field. Unless he really falls, I won't own him. This guy could have a great year, but I don't know. He's just too risky for my blood. Rhys Hoskins, I have top 3 in RBIs, leading the National League. You take a guy that had 90 runs on 96 RBIs, 34 home runs, 5 steals, 246. He already makes above average contact. This guy reminds me of Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista on their prime. Makes above average contact. So there's going to be a year where their BABIP just is skyrocket high because they make above average contact. I don't think he'll really ever get below 250, 260 again based off of how good the players around him now are. So I think he has 265, 270 safe upside with 5-6 steals. He's going to hit 30, 35 home runs, if not 40. And now you put Andrew McCutchen, Zane Segura, Bryce Harper, and JT Realmuto on his team. And the guy already had 96 RBIs and 90 runs scored. This guy could potentially have 250 runs and RBIs. I have him right where around I have Giancarlo Stanton. The only reason I have Stanton a little bit higher is because he's going to be in more hitters' parks because the American League East goes to more hitters' parks. And I think that offense is still a tad better. But it's close. He's going to have a great year. Chris Davis, no. He had 5 months out of the year where the guy struggled to fucking hit 240. He had 1 month he hit 330. I think he's a below average player 4 or 5 months out of the year. Sure, he hits for power. I just think he's a below average player for most of the year. Most of the year. He's just too inconsistent for a head-to-head league. Roto, I would take this guy in the 2nd round. In a rotisserie league, he's a 2nd round pick. So that's what doesn't make sense about these rankings. That is a Roto pick, he wouldn't be going 39. He'd be going in the 2nd fucking round. But he's too inconsistent for a 5x5 head-to-head league. And I think he's going to get overlooked that way. Whoever owns him, they're going to say, oh, it's about fucking time. 1 second, sorry. Computer's acting up. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I'm just not taking there. Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. He's not, I just don't know when he's going to play. I think he's a great player. I just don't know when he's going to come up and play. I think he'll be good when he comes up, but like who the fuck knows? It could be June. Anthony Rendon. I love. I'm probably not going to get him there. I'm going to wait because you'll know who my 3rd basemen are. I think he's perfectly fine going there. I think he's one of the most underrated players in baseball. He doesn't possess the upside. So I would agree whoever wants to argue against Rendon. So like as someone who does the Saber, I will, if you can possess a point to me, like there's things in my head that I already know that, okay, maybe they can come at me from this angle when they're debating a player. And Dave does that a lot. Dave will do that. He'll come at me from a different angle. And I'm like, yeah, he has a point. If someone just goes, oh, I don't like Rendon because of blah, 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 and your point is invalid, then I'm not going to listen to you. Even if I think there's an argument against any player, unless you tell me that argument, unless you tell me where you're coming from, I'm not going to agree with you. So you could argue for or against Rendon. You can say, oh, the team is worse. You can say he doesn't steal. He doesn't have 30 homer upside. He doesn't have 100 RBI upside. I would agree with you as to why you might not like him there. But I think in that 4th, 5th round when you're building your team, you already have 3 guys that you've taken a flyer on. And he's one of those guys that's just going to get good. You're going to get 90, 90, 25, 3, 310. I think he's safe. Springer, same as Rendon. He has said he wants to steal more bases. I'll believe it when I see it. Struggles to steal. For right now, he struggles to hit for a high batting average. He hits leadoff, so their RBIs aren't going to be there. That's just 3 categories that you're not getting from a 3rd, 4th rounder. You're not getting RBIs. You're not getting batting average. You're not getting steals. I mean, I'm fine with him, but you're just not getting those for right now, based off of what he's done for his career, you're not getting those 3 categories. Bogart, I think he's safe. He's just going too early for me. I think he has too much downside because I can see this guy hitting like 17 home runs or 18 home runs, and not scoring runs. So I'm just not taking him there. I don't think he's a bad player. I'm not taking him there. Cody Bellinger, he's fallen in mock drafts. I don't think this guy's going to go 45. I think he's going to go a lot earlier. If this guy goes in the 5th round, I won't argue against anyone. But I think this guy's going to go in the end of the 3rd round. And I think he's a piece of shit if he goes in the end of the 3rd round. This guy can't hit lefties. That entire division is left-handed. He can't hit for a high batting average. Plays in a huge park for him. Like, a guy that hits for a high batting average, like Corey Seager or Justin Turner, I like in that ballpark because I think there's going to be a lot of balls that dip and dunk in. This guy doesn't do that. He's a home run hitter or bust. So, like, I just think for what his specialties are, you're not getting because of the park he's in. So, I just think a safe stat line would be like 90 runs, 85 runs, 28 home runs, 75 RBIs, 10 steals, and 260. I just think I think if you draft him in the 4th round, he's only going to be a 4th round, but for a 4th round at best by year's end. And I could see him doing what he did last year because he was perfectly fine last year. Lorenzo Cain, I think, is going to have more RBIs. I think he was better going in the 6th round last year. I still like him because I think he can still. You're going to get 30 steals. You're going to get a 310 batting average. You're going to get 90 to 100 runs scored, and you're going to get 10 to 15 home runs. And if the RBIs come up a tad bit, I think he's a great player. I probably won't get him because I'm probably going to be getting steals from other guys at different positions. I think he really can help any team. You just have to be aware that if you're taking him, you have to get your RBIs and home runs elsewhere, which you could do. So I was able to do it last year with Manny Machado and Gary Sanchez because even though Gary Sanchez played 80 games, I still had a catcher hit me 55 RBIs for 75 fucking games. So get the counting stats later. Fucking love me some Lorenzo Cain. Joey Votto's going to have a 2017 type year. Love him. Love the resurgence. I've read everything that you can on him. He's turning it around. And I apologize, Tommy, but he's going to turn it around. Jose Abreu. I also like that team a lot. So, Jose Abreu, I think he's fine going there. I just don't like that team. I think he's going to be 70, 75, 25, 265, 2 steals. He won't bust. You're still going to get a safe guy. So, I just don't see a huge difference between him and fucking Luke Voigt. Or him and Edwin. So, Eugenio Suarez. I think he has a lot of risk, but I think he has a lot of upside because this guy could go with 40 home runs, but he could also go hit 26 home runs. He could hit 230 or he could hit 285. You know? So, I'd probably tab him for a little bit later. If I were a ranker, I'd put other guys over him third base-wise. But, I think that team is good offensively to score runs from a fan. Like, the Colorado Rockies are actually MLB good offensively. They have a good bunch of guys because they put the ball in play. And the same thing can be said for the Reds. They have a lot of guys that put the ball in play, so they will be on base. Jesse Winker will be on base. Votto will be on base. Puig is improved. You know, so Jeanette is a good player. So, Daniel Murphy, I think, is going to go a lot earlier than pick 50. I think he's going to go at the end of the 3rd round, 4th round. Someone's going to reach for him. While I think he's going to be 80, 295, 3 steals, 20 home runs. I can honestly see this guy, the power not being there because they've raised the fences in right field and he doesn't hit left-handed pitching. And that entire division is left-handed. I think he's still going to be a good player by year's end. I just don't think he has that upside as everyone thinks he's going to have. Tommy Pham is just going a little too early for me. I'd like to own him. If this guy steals bases and hits 2nd to 4th, he's going to have a great year. But the problem is, I could see them just being weird like they were in St. Louis and just not bat him high in the order. So, like, I think a safe stat line's 100 runs, 20 to 25, 65, 70 RBIs, and like 15 steals, 275. I wish he were going later because if he were going later, I would probably take him there. at 52, but because he's ranked 52 and pitchers go later in our draft, I think someone's going to take him over 52. All these hitters, that's what I'm saying. So we take pitchers later, we take relievers later, which means that offensive players are going earlier than their ADPs based off of rankings. So if he's ranked 52, he's probably going to go like 45, which means he's like a middle fourth rounder. You know what I mean? So that's where if I haven't explained that, I apologize. Ozzy Albies, not taking them. Just not, no. Corey Seager, I just think his injury is going to lay over for this year. I think from a fantasy perspective, he's just not going to, he doesn't steal. The home runs aren't really there. He bats second in the National League, which is fine if he's going to hit like 320 or have 40 home runs, but he's not going to do either of those. So I think the RBIs won't be there. So I don't think the homers, RBIs, steals won't be there. I think he's going to hit 285, 290. I think he's going to have 100 runs. I think he'll be like an 8th rounder, 8th, 9th rounder by year's end. So he won't bust. I just don't see the upside, and I don't think he's that safe either. Gene Segura, I think he's going to have 100 runs, 10 to 15 home runs, 65, 70 RBIs, and 20 to 25 steals, batting 300. I think he's a very good player. I think he possesses a lot of upside. I think he can easily finish inside the top 25 players in next year. I don't know if I'm going to grab him, but I could see him. I could see me owning him. Marcell Ozuna just doesn't have enough upside, and I can see this guy getting benched because he's not that good of an MLB player. I think I can see them playing Harrison Bader and Tyler O'Neill over him, and if Dexter Fowler comes around the fucking, out of nowhere again, he could, they could bench him. I don't think he has homer upside. I don't think he has average upside. I don't think he has steal upside. He doesn't even get on base, so I think he's a bum. I think he's going 60th overall, right? He finished as the 92nd player last year. He's had like 1 year. He's out of 5 years of his career where he's had a really good fantasy year, and he's going as like a 4th, 5th rounder. So no. Adalberto Mondesi, I love him. Sorry. I love him. I think this guy has 30 homers, 60 steal potential. He won't do that, but I think he still has 20 to 25 and 50 steal potential. I think Whit Merrifield and Billy Hamilton batting 9th and 1st is a very good option for him to drive in runs. They're going to be in scoring position because they steal. And I think because he's a free swinger, he's going to have so many shitty pop-ups or ground balls that result into guys scoring. So I really like that. I just think he has a lot of risk. But I think he's still safe for 20 homers, 30 steals. The metrics are good on him. The hard contact is good on him. Like, so for the same things you can say about Acuna, you could say the same thing about fucking Adalberto Mondesi. The only thing you can argue is the team and the contact. And I'm not trying to peg him at 30 home runs, but I think 20 home runs from the second base shortstop position and 30 steals in general is great. So if you can get 70, 20, and 30 with fucking upside, I just think at the end of the day, like the same thing I said for Javier Baez, where I don't like him because he's going in the second round. I just think you can't argue 2020 with potential for power, with potential for steals, with potential for runs or RBIs. I just think he's going way too late. I would have this guy, honestly, I think he should really be going around the 3rd round. I think he should, I think in 275 at-bats, for any player to have 32 steals and 14 home runs and 47 runs scored, I think for any fucking player is just insanely sickly late. Sorry. Gleyber Torres, same thing. 430 at-bats, 25 home runs, 77 RBIs, 6 steals with fucking good Why? Why is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who hasn't fucking played a game, who we don't know when the fuck's coming up, going that fucking early? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Why is Carlos Correa going that early? Why? He's had one top 50 fucking season in like the history of his entire fucking 4-year career. Chris Bryant, why? I don't get it. Why? Can someone explain that to me? Upside. How is it a 22-year-old with 24 home runs and 430 at-bats, 77 RBIs in Yankee fucking Stadium? How is that not upside? How is the guy who had 15 homers, 32 steals on a bad team where they're gonna fucking run with power? How is the guy going that? I don't get it. Why is Marcell Ozuna ranked ahead of him? Why? I digress. Nelson Cruz, I like. I just don't like utility. I think he's safe for 80, 35, 90, 260. I just don't want to play him at utility. And it sucks. Gary Sanchez I have as a second rounder. I'm not even going to get into it. 53 RBIs, 51 runs scored in 323 fucking at-bats. And he hit 186. If this dude hit 220, he would have had 60 and 60. So even if he hits 220 next year, 60-60 in the same at-bats. And this guy I think is going to hit 255, 260. With at least. So if he has 500 at-bats, you're getting 80, 80, 26, 25 minimum. This dude could hit 40 home runs. So whoever you're taking in the second, third round, if you take, okay, so take him as your catcher in the second, third round, and then plug in whoever you're going to take a catcher. Whoever you're going to take and plug those numbers in. You're going to get a better offensive season from Gary Sanchez in your lineup. Out of doubt. Out of doubt. Out of doubt. I've won the last 2 years with Gary Sanchez on my team. And he was hurt both years. And I've won. Like, he played in the playoffs. I won. So, it's pissing me off. Matt Carpenter, I think, is fine. Just going a little too early. I think you're not getting RBIs. Guy had 36 home runs and had 81 RBIs. Doesn't hit for a high batting average, doesn't steal, which is not a big deal, but when you're not getting RBIs on top of it, I just think you're not getting 3 categories. So it's just, I love him, but like he doesn't hit lefties either. So Eddie Rosario just going too early for me. Justin Upton, I think, is going. I think Justin Upton's going is very undervalued. I'd rather have Justin Upton over Rhys Hoskins, not Rhys Hoskins. Justin Upton over Cody Bellinger. I'd rather have him over Chris Davis. I think with Alderton Simmons, Mike Trout, and Shohei Ohtani going to be back, Justin Bour, Albert Pujols, those are all guys that could put the ball in play, or could drive a guy in. And I think he's going to have good counting stats. I think he's going to have 10 steals, and he's going to have 35 to 30 home runs. So, Yasiel Puig I have as a third rounder. So in 72 games versus American League Central teams, this dude had 17 home runs. His saber has gotten better every single year. He's still not even old. The Reds steal more than the Dodgers do. He has Jesse Winker and Votto with 400 on bases batting ahead of him. He's in a better ballpark to hit. He's made more contact. His hard hit's been better. So, I just think this dude's going to hit 30 home runs, 90-90, with like 17 steals, batting 275, 280. I think he'll finish inside the top 2-3 rounds, and I think he'll be, he's going to be a great player. JT Realmuto I have as a middle third rounder. I think, again, you just plug him in, you're going to get better numbers. He's going to have a lot of home runs. He's going to have like 20, 25 home runs. 85-85 with like a 275 batting average. Jesus Aguilar going too early. I think he has too much risk. And I think he's going to be benched a lot because they still have Eric Thames and they still have Ryan Braun and they have Mike Moustakas. Now they have Mike Moustakas and Travis Shaw that could play first as well. And they don't have a DH. Jonathan VR, I think, is someone who's going to be hard to draft because this dude's either going to go past his ADP or before his ADP. Someone's going to say, oh, Jonathan VR has steals. And, I think it's going to be harder to draft VR because he's going later based off ADP, so he's going to get reached for. And by a reach, I don't mean he's actually going to be a reach. I mean he's going to go like pick 50. So to say, oh, I'm going to wait and draft VR and get steals, I think is a bad strategy because if this were an auction league, I would agree. But it's not an auction league, so he can get swiped from underneath you. I think he's still a great player. Only problem is that team's even worse than the Royals. And he possesses less power than I think Adalberto Mondesi. And less steals than Adalberto Mondesi. So I think he's an Adalberto Mondesi light. Mitch Haniger, he's safe. He's a safe player. So I think whoever owns Mitch Haniger and Nick Castellanos and Matt, ready? So whoever owns Jeanette, Olsen, Mitch Haniger, Nick Castellanos, they're going to be guys that have like 3 pitchers. They're going to have 3 starters, and they're going to say, oh, I could just wait and get these guys, and I have the same offensive production. Bloobity-bloobity-boo. The only guy I like is Jeanette. I think he's very consistent. He's shown, so he finished as the 30th overall player last year. He's going pick 90. The year before, he finished as the 60th overall player. He's going pick 90. This dude has finished almost inside the top 50 back-to-back years, and this dude's going 90, and that team is better. I think he's very, very good. I think he's going way too late. He's very good. The other three guys, I just don't think are consistent enough to I think the parks they play in, the fact that they don't possess 30 home run upside, the fact they don't steal, I just think they're not going too early. I just can see them being average players at best. Donaldson, I think, is going to get rested every Sunday, and I think he's also going to get rested every 10 games. So I think he's going to get rested every Sunday, and I think, like, on day games, and they play 4 straight games in a row, and I think he's going to have, like, one of those games where he just doesn't play. And if he hits the DL, which I think he will, he's also going to miss 10 to 15 games there. So I think by year's end, this guy will struggle to play 125 games. And that's if he doesn't have an actual fucking injury. I think he's going to be a good player when he plays. I just won't own him. And it's not like this guy's hitting 275. He's struggled. He has shown he doesn't hit for power. Not power. He's shown he has not hit for average in a while. And the counting stats, because he's going to miss games, won't be there. I'd rather have Justin Turner. Justin Turner went into the year last year hurt. Went into the season hurt last year because he got hit by a pitch in spring training. I think this guy's going to hit 315. I don't think he's going to get hurt this year. I just don't think he's going to get hurt. I think he's going to hit 25 home runs, have 100 and 100, and I think he's going to be the second overall third baseman after Nolan Arenado by year's end. I think A.J. Pollock and Corey Seager, baseball-wise, batting ahead of him is great. Bellinger, baseball-wise, batting behind him is good. He's going to be protected. And I think he can still chip like Seven steals him. So I think he's a great player. I think he's going to finish where Rendon finishes, but I think he's going to have a little more RBIs and a little more batting average. I think he's going way too late. Miguel Andujar, I think is safe. I think he's safe for 25, 85, 85, 285. I think love him. David Dahl doesn't hit lefties. That division's lefty. He doesn't hit high in the batting order. I think he's a bust. I think he's going way too fucking early. Matt Olson, I think he's inconsistent. It's not his fault. Team, park, batting average doesn't steal. Week to week, won't. He's going to have a month where he goes. So I haven't even looked at Matt Olson month per month. I'm just going to look at him right now, and let's just see how consistent he is. Let's just see. I bet, and this is on video now. I have not even looked at him. I'm looking at him right now. I have not even looked at him. Going to him right now. $227 at home, $266 away. Okay, that's not very good. $270 1 month, $215 1 month. The month he hit 270, he hit 2 home runs. That's two months out of the year of inconsistency. June he hit 245 and 9 home runs. Then in July and August he hit 3 home runs and 3 home runs. So this is his month. 11 RBIs, 9 RBIs, 22, 9, 13, 19, 282, 263, 220, 245, 216, 267. I see a 220 month and a 216 month. He had 3 months, he hit 3 homers, 2 homers. 4 months, 11 RBIs, 9 RBIs, 9 RBIs, 13 RBIs, and then 1 month he had 22 RBIs. No, I didn't even go to him. Inconsistent. No. On bases, 298, 322, 315. No, sorry, it's not you, it's the park. You're a great player. Put you in Yankee Stadium. You're a great player. It just sucks. A.J. Pollock, I just don't think that team steals, and I think it's a bad ballpark for a guy that had potential to hit 25 home runs. I think he's going to have around 17 to 18, and still, I think he can go 20-20. But you're fine where you're going. It just sucks. It sucks because I like you a lot. Why does it not even have a... That's weird. Okay, Odor, question mark, but I think he has upside. I'm not a big fan baseball-wise for him, but I think he has upside. Matt Chapman, same thing as Matt Olson, no. Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo is... You know what you're getting out of him. You're getting 85, 90, 40... 3 steals and a 205 batting average. If this guy can just make a tad more contact, he's going to be an insane baseball player. Going fine, just not for me. Edwin, great value. I probably won't own him, but great value. Good photo, just going too early for me. McCutcheon, I think, is great value. I think he's going to be safe for 2025. 100 runs, 70 RBIs, 15 steals, 265. Will Myers is a bum. He can't stay on the field as an outfielder. I know, Jax. I know. Oh, yeah, okay, well, if you're going to really have an argument against Matt Olson, you better be a little more... Is it Matt Chapman? Matt Chapman? Okay, well, we'll have... If you're going to be... at least have constructive criticism about what I'm doing right now. So, D. Gordon... So, D. Gordon... Sit your butt. Okay, well. Okay, so I'll just do this quick. D. Gordon, I'm not touching. David Peralta, not touching. Victor Robles, I think Victor Robles can be fucking insane. He can be Starling Marte. The problem is that he's batting fucking 7th. Cano, I think, is fine. See, all these guys I think are fine. I'll tell you the guys I think actually possess. I think Devers, if you play him against righty, is good. Dozier, I think, is actually not that great from a fan. He's hitting low in the lineup. Eloy Jimenez, who knows? Mike Moustakas is probably going to hit like 40 home runs this year. Ian Desmond's going way too late. Desmond finished 86th overall. He's going 126. He has a playing time. He stole 20 bases, 20 home runs, 88, 82. This is a prime example. Counting stats getting overlooked. 82 and 88. The year before, he had 40 and 40 in half a season. This guy's going to have 80 and 80. And play every day. He's a righty, and he hits lefties. Lefty in that division. 20 steals. Underrated. I don't care. He's underrated. Like, Jose Peraza finished the 72nd overall player going pick 128, and the Sabres good on him. I think he's a cheap shortstop. Elvis Andrus, I think, is... This is why I said, I like shortstops, because there's so many guys that you can get 20 steals from going later. With good runs and a good batting average. And these are the prime example guys. Like, Elvis Andrus can hit 300. Jose Peraza can hit 290. So that's why I'm really trying not to reach for a shortstop too early. Steven Piscotty, I don't even fucking know. Cesar Hernandez, again, I don't know. Kyle Schwarber, I prove it to me, please. Miguel, I think he's going to hit 300 and hit like 17, 18 home runs. I just don't think the stolen bases, runs, or RBIs will be anywhere near formidable to be playing every day, especially if the guy's not hitting 20 home runs. I like him. I could see him doing really well, but that team is just so fucking bad. Wilson Contreras is a bum. Buster Posey, I just feel bad for. 29 RBIs and 500 at-bats. That's the wrong guy. Sorry, 41 RBIs and 400 at-bats. That's Billy Hamilton I'm looking at. I feel bad for Posey. Please get him. Please put him on the Orioles. He's an Orioles type guy, I feel like. Eric Hosmer, play him against righties. It's not terrible. Play him against righties, and you can still get a decent season out of him. Alex Smith, I don't know. Travis Shaw is going to be great. I think he's good value. Yasmani Grandal, great value. Love him. I think those guys should be going way earlier. Juan Moncada, I think, is going to have a good year. Anyone else? Ryan Braun, I think, is going way too late. I think you could just play him, and then if he gets hurt, just drop him. Harrison Bader's pretty good. Buxton has upside. Austin Meadows, I like. Paul DeYoung, I really like. DJ LeMahieu, I like. Luke Voigt, I love. I think Luke Voigt's going to be a top 70 player. Tyler White, I really like. Grishik, I think, has upside, too. Anyone else? Bueller. Shit's frozen. Okay, here we go. Really, anyone else? Maybe Cedric Mullins can steal. Jorge Polanco, I think, is pretty good, too. I think Nick Markakis is actually going a little too late. I don't know why he doesn't have a fucking rank next to his name. That's weird. I think he's safe for 15 homers, RBIs, and runs, and like a 280 batting average. I mean, Jung Ho Kong, I think, could be good. Avisail Garcia, I can see doing well too. Kyle Tucker, obviously. So that's there for the hitters for the most part. Everyone else, I'm not going to... Oh, Jorge Soler, I like. Justin Bour, I like. Okay. Starting pitchers. I don't think Kluber's going to have the year he's been having. I think he's got to show a little age. Aaron Nola, I think, is going too early. I think he's getting drafted off of last year's numbers. I don't think he's going to have that great of a year. I think he's going to have a great year. He'll be like top 15, but I think he's going to have like a 3.3, 3.4 ERA. I don't think he's going to be an elite ERA company or elite whip company. Blake Snell, I think Blake Snell will win the American League Cy Young again. Garrett Cole, I don't even fucking know. Carrasco, I think Carrasco just his injury concerns. The fact you're drafting him based off of a high ERA and he still never has that good ERA. He's a 3.4 ERA last year. I understand we're going off of we're not drafting off last year. Sure, fine. But that's like every year he has a 3.4 ERA. So for him to be going like so fucking early as a third rounder and he's not really the difference between a 3.6 and a 3.3 ERA over the year is nothing. It's like one start or 4 runs. Walker Buehler is just going too early for me. Syndergaard, I think, is good value. Trevor Bauer, I think, could win the American League Cy Young. Greinke, too early. Paxton, I think Paxton's going to have a 3.5 ERA, but the strikeouts are going to be there. The wins are going to be there. He could get hurt, but I think you're getting a shit ton of strikeouts. I like his value. I don't like Taillon at all. I think he's a bum. Jack Flaherty, I like. I could see him kind of slumping a little bit. Jose Barrios, I like. I just think it's going a tad too early. He has to prove he can miss a little more bats. Strasburg's always hurt, but I think he's actually valued better this year. Corbin, I like a lot. Severino kind of sucks now. This sucks. I think he's going to be fine when he gets back, but, I mean, he's missing a month. Clevenger, fine. Wheeler, going too early. Price is fine. To Hanaka, I really like. Michaelis, I think he's fine ranked there. I think he's a good pitcher 3. But the problem is I'm drafting my first pitcher around there, so to have my first pitcher have not as many strikeouts, I'm just not going to own. Bumgarner's going to bust. I actually think German Marquez is not bad. Morton, I think, is going to have a great year. Archer's going to have a great year. Robbie Ray, I think, is going to have a lot of strikeouts. I think he possesses ERA where he could have a 2017 type year. I think he's valued a lot better this year than he was last year. I might own him, I might not. I think the strikeouts are going to be there, though. Clayton Kershaw, I'm not going to own. Kyle Hendricks, I'm not going to own. Yu Darvish, I think, is healthy this year. I think he's going to have a good year. Mike Fulton-Evans not going to draft. Luis Castillo, not drafting. Cole Hamels, Bieber, not drafting. I actually like Eduardo Rodriguez. I think he's very underrated. I think he's a good pitcher. I think he's a very good pitcher. I think he's going to fall in our drafts, and I would gladly own him. Nick Pivetta, he just scares me. But I think he's a good pitcher. Dallas Keuchel, I don't know. J.A. Happ, I think, is fine. There, I think you're going to get wins, you're going to get strikeouts, you're going to get a good whip. You might get a high ERA, but, like, again, week per week, I think he's going to be good consistently for the other 3 categories. Rich Hill, I think, is great. He's probably going to get hurt, but he's still going to be a fucking elite starting top 10 pitcher when he pitches. Rick Porcello is okay there. Glasnow, I think, is going to turn a corner. I think he's a good pitcher. Jose Quintana is safe. Yusuke Kikuchi, who knows? I like him a lot. I think he's going to be... I think he'll finish inside the top 20 by year's end. Hopefully. I like him. So, Andrew Heaney, why? Maeda, Ryu, Stripling, again, you flip a coin. They're all going to be good when they pitch. Alex Reyes, I think, is okay, but I think he's going to get hurt. Jake Arrieta, I'm not drafting. Kevin Gausman, not drafting. Lucchesi has upside. John Lester. I think John Lester is going to be okay. He's going to be okay, but I can see him pulling a fucking Jake Arrieta. John Gray, I think, is going way too late. He has to go out. Zach Godley, I think, has good value. Kyle Gibson has good value. Joe Musgrove has good value. Jimmy Nelson, I'd like had with value. Animal Sanchez, good value. Drew Pomerantz, good value. Trevor Cahill, good value. Michael Pineda, good value. Brad Peacock, good value. Michael Wacha, good value. Brad Keller, good value. Felix Pena, good value. Wade Miley, good value. Caleb Smith, good value. Jake Odorizzi, good value. There we go. So, wrapped it all up. First baseman, I'm waiting on. I would like to get Votto. If not, I'm waiting for like Luke Ford or Tyler White or Edwin. Third, I also like Ryan O'Hearn. I didn't mention that. Ryan O'Hearn I like too, and Jorge Soler I like. I know Jorge Soler has outfield. Third baseman, I think Justin Turner is going to finish inside the top 3 third baseman. I'm not taking them early. Shortstops, I like Adalberto Mondesi. I like Paul DeJong. I like Gleyber Torres. I like the guys that I've already mentioned. Second baseman, I'm going Jose Ramirez or Altuve early as much as I can. And my predictions for this year, based off of how I think we're all going to do. It's sad to say, but I think Tommy's going to have a different draft than usual. I think he's going to draft a pitcher a little bit earlier. I think he's still going to do well. Chris, I think, is going to have a good year. Feldman's going to have a good year. I could see Dave struggling this year. I can see Dave not liking his team. And I'm going to win again. Fuck John.